Last night I found something rather unfortunate in my car, and if you're new here, hi, my name is Gabrielle, and this is my 2005 Lotus Elise project car, and I've owned it for 3 years. So when I found something inside of the dashboard last night I wasn't expecting, I was very confused. Last night when we were undoing the wiring in the dashboard to figure out where my electrical draw is coming from, which we suspected was part of the radio, I found something that I really was not expecting. We found a rat's nest, and I'm unfortunately not talking about the wiring, which was also a disaster. Now, luckily for me, the rat was no longer there. Last night when we pulled out the old head unit and we were taking a look of where to run some of the new wires and figure out what the wiring issue was, I took a peek behind the passenger airbag and I saw what I thought and what I at least hoped was factory insulation. But then I kept looking at it and I realized that there's pieces of napkin and tissue back there, which, although I wouldn't put it past Lotus for doing that or for a previous owner to have done that on the car, typically meant that it was a rat's nest, and the smell proved that to be true. But I did have to fish some cables through the dashboard blindly, which made me really jumpy and a little scared. I did have an aftermarket radio in the car that the previous owner had installed, and a lot of times what happens is when someone is installing an aftermarket radio, they'll switch the red and the yellow wires, which means that the radio will be getting constant power rather than just power when the ignition is turned into the on position, which can cause a drain over time even if it doesn't necessarily look like your radio is getting power. It was, I believe, $75, so it's cheaper than the unit that a lot of people are putting in their Elises right now. I do know that some people put in the doubled-in head unit that either comes up and slightly blocks your air controls, or goes down and blocks your air controls, or goes up and blocks your actual vents. I really wanted a single DIN replacement for mine, and it was important for me to have a little volume knob. I'm happy to say for Lotus enthusiasts and skeptics out there that the battery drain has been resolved in my car, and it was not a result of the British wiring and British electrical problems that everyone claims that these cars seem to have. This was purely the result of someone doing something wrong and also a little critter living inside the car. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below and follow along for my Lotus Elise and my Lotus Evora rebuild projects and modifications over the next year.